What's up, everybody? Before we get into the show, just want to let you know, of course, we are doing our live shows in November 16th at the Lincoln Lodge. We will be in Chicago at the Lincoln Lodge Thursday, November 16th. Get your tickets now. And December 16th in Los Angeles at the Lyric Hyperion.
At 9:30.
Get your tickets now at 9:30. All those tickets are available. Please come. We'd love to see you. We're going to have surprise guests, games, audience participation. We're going to be doing our segments. It's going to be so fun, so hot, so don't miss it. What's up, everybody? In today's episode, I decide to ruin my career once again by going absolutely off on the hand that feeds me.
And we explore sexuality from the fingertip to the bottom of your foot.
And am I the villain? Hi, it's me. I'm the problem.
You're the problem.
It's me. Let's get into the show. Hello. Welcome back to Two Kims, One Pod. I'm one of your hosts, Peter Kim.
And I am your other host, Unji Kim.
Yes. And we are the sexiest podcast in the world. Welcome back. Before we get started to our sections, Unji, I just have to do a quick check-in with you. There's a lot going on with Israel, Palestine. I know that sounds like a joke, but it's rearing up again, as it always has. It's been violent since we were young. Even before that, it's centuries old. How are you and your family doing? Do you know anyone in Israel or no?
Yeah, we have a couple of family friends that all got called up into the reserve. So
what?
Well, I mean,
you have friends that got called into the
family
reserve?
friend, like the sons of family friends that are getting called up. Yeah. I mean, everybody. It's a tiny country. It's a tiny country,
yes.
And basically, any sort of there's a connection there. Yeah, it's like the entire country is on alert and everything. So, this is all I will say about it, just for the safety of my own family.
Yeah.
I will say that we're fine, at least for my own personal mental health. I have been off of socials. So just because, it was a lot like this. So anytime this kind of violence, and even with the Ukraine and Russia stuff was happening, my feed in particular is very much filled with Jewish influencers, progressive politics. It's a heady mix of both. People on vastly different ends of the political spectrum, and which is fine. I like to see that. But even with the Russian-Ukraine thing, let me just say this with people on social media, and if you are experiencing this kind of same fatigue, because basically I get onto my feed and these videos start fucking playing immediately before you even consent to wanting to watch it. And all of a sudden you're bearing witness to literally the most heinous, horrible thing you've ever seen. Not just about the war. I'm talking about during the BLM, all of it. We are watching some of the most disturbing footage casually on the shitter. We have to kind of acknowledge the trauma that you are exposing your brain to really early in the morning. And
we're dropping bombs while we're watching bombs.
Absolutely. This is what I mean. It's just really fucked. So I think this is a self-preservation thing I've taken on since during the pandemic. Whenever something like this really happens, I do tend to, I'm off the socials. Okay. Just so... Good. Just this is for you guys too. If you guys are experiencing a type of fatigue, I know it's easier said than done, but making it something an intentional choice, I'm telling you, you will feel so much better. You will feel so much less stress and trauma and anxiety, and whatever you feel will be more accurately something that is affecting your life. I mean, it has happened also, all of it. It's just, there's always going to be high alert around anytime there's sort of violence against Jews and anywhere, there's the high alert happens to Jews everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's also always, I would say basically since like 2012 or 20, since post 9/11, there's almost always armed guards outside all synagogues. Like, so, you know what I mean?
Fucked up.
Yeah. But I
That's
mean, you
fucked
know,
up.
that's like, and then post, Trump in a lot of them are on America too. So like, you know, how are we doing? How have we always been doing, you know? So, yeah, like
neurotic
Yeah.
and not shitting well.
yeah, it's trying to stay safe. I mean, yeah. So I like and this kind of has to do
I
with
just
my
wanted to
bottom.
check in with you because
it kind of has to do with my bottom. So
we'll get into it.
we'll get
later
into
then.
it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I just want to check in because I've been checking in with people, and I was surprised when I checked in with some Jewish friends that they were like, "You're the first person that's checked in on me," and I was like, "Oh, I don't think we're that great of friends." So like. That felt a little like alarming, you know. I'm like, oh, and there seems to be a, you know, whatever. We'll get into it, but anyway, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you guys are doing okay acutely, and yeah, all right. Well, it's time to get into the highlights and lowlights of our week in a very special segment called
Rock hard tops and soft, flaccid bottoms. Yeah.
All right, my top this week. I hate saying this out loud, but I've lost 17 pounds.
Oh my
and
gosh,
I
Peter,
know.
yay!
Can you believe? Since the strike started, I've lost 17 pounds. I was not going on a hunger strike. This was not a fasting thing.
It's all the walking.
I just all the picketing. Yeah. No, I joined the gym, and I've been going to the gym, and I've been like, even if I go for just like a 12-minute exercise, I still go and do it because I wanted to build consistency, not like results. And looks like the results are resulting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wanted to lose weight from pandemic, and that's been I feel lighter. I feel good. I feel like I'm up for more. I have more energy. I'm up for more things. You know, when I was carrying around more weight, I just, it's more like depressing, and like I don't want to do stuff. I don't feel good in my body, so I don't want to dress up or go out or whatever. Like it all starts like rolling downhill. So I'm happy for myself, and it feels nice to actually see like in numerals, like, oh, this is your success, or this is like your what you've put into it is what you've gotten out. So like that feels good overall.
You got a good grade.
I got a good grade, and it's helping my libido actually, like to be working out. Yeah, it's making me feel like, I think the endorphins are helping, and I'm feeling sexier. I want to have sex, and I want to like do that. But anyway,
Okay.
And yeah, it's been good. My bottom, I don't know how much I want to say. I feel like I should save like the deets for Patreon, but
Ooh.
I might just go into it because I'm pissed. Okay, so writer strike is over,
Yes.
and I'm still not back to work. Okay, so, and a lot of us are feeling this.
Yes.
It's not just me. There's not a lot of work to go around. I was talking to a showrunner, and he was saying like, I'm gonna go look for another job. Like it's just like bleak as fuck, right?
Wow.
Now, I was told that from my showrunners of my show that I used to write on called Housebroken on Fox, that they were having a meeting with Fox, and they would let us know soon what's going on with the show, right? Mind you, we've been done writing since last summer.
Right.
Okay. So it's been a long time. All our episodes are out.
Yes.
Season 2 and 3. Now these motherfuckers, Fox, say to the creators and showrunners of the show that, hey, we're not going to make a decision on whether to cancel or pick you up till next spring. So just hang out. And I'm like, wait, what? What the fuck are you talking about?
Peter,
We've been the show that like has delivered consistently great episodes, great jokes. You've loved it. We've loved working together. We've done some cool stuff animatically. Like, and wait, you want us to wait till what? And in the meantime, you've greenlit 3 seasons of Dan Harmon's Crepopolis. Okay, this is how stupid fucking Hollywood is that they just take anything. It's like, oh, Rick and Morty was a success. Let's just pay these people an ungodly amount of money to write 3 seasons of a show that we've never even seen a fucking frame of. And then guess what? Within the strike, Crepopolis came out. And it debuted amazing numbers. Guess why it had amazing numbers? They put it on right after Taylor Swift visited Travis Kelce in the goddamn Chiefs game or whatever. That got all the girlies watching and their husbands watching or whatever the fuck. And then they left the damn TV on. And then guess what? Crepopolis debuted and they're like 13 million viewers. Yeah, because you fucking programmed it after the biggest TV event outside of fucking Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. You know what I mean? Like, no shit, they got all these fucking numbers. And guess what? I watched Crepopolis. I went in and was like, let me give this show a decent try. You know, because you've greenlit this for three seasons and you're making us wait 2 years to make a fucking decision on pickup or not. And let's see how good this is. It's got to be fucking brilliant. So I go and watch it. Turns out the abuser Justin Roiland was the talent after all. Because let me tell you, Dan Harmon alone, this shit's not slapping. It's not giving. It's not giving what you thought it was giving. You're talking about Greek gods. Bro, Poseidon was one of the jokes. Poseidon's lazy brother, Poseidon. That was the joke. The pun. Come on, bitch. 3 seasons? 3 motherfucking seasons. And you know what? That guy, what the fuck's the guy from What We Do in the Shadows? Whatever his name is, he's really funny. Is he British or whatever? Matt Berry. Do you know who I'm talking? Do you watch this show? What We Do in the Shadows? Anyway,
no.
He's incredible. Incredible show, incredible actor. Anyway, he plays this like hornball, ancient hornball, and it's the same fucking character in this thing. It's just he's like animated differently, like as a griffin or whatever the fuck. Like, it's so flat and it's so bad that I'm watching this and going, no one punched this up. They gave you 3 seasons and this is what you fucking submitted. And these guys are sucking your fucking dick while while I'm waiting a year and a half to see if my room comes back because you gotta suck Dan Harmon's cock.
Peter, you have to put this in the Patreon. You can't have this.
No, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. This sucks. This is garbage. This is the way the fucking industry works. It's all reactive. There's no fucking everything is based on something that has happened. It's so stupid. We just turn back and go, this thing hit. Let's hit it. Let's do it again. It's like that hit because it was good and original. And now you're trying to facsimile the hit. Like, how often do you have to fail to fucking get it? Like, it's so... It drives me fucking bananas how little imagination a creative industry has. Like, give it a fucking break. I'm so pissed at how much people fail upwards. 3 seasons of a fucking show without seeing 1 page of jokes. whatever. It's your money. It's Rupert Murdoch's money. Go spend it. Go. Great.
Famous
Fuck.
Australian.
And that was my bottom. My bottom is Crapopolis, the pilot. How about that?
Peter's
Why
bottom.
don't you guys go watch and tell me what the fuck you think?
Peter's bottom is him burning these bridges.
That's my top, actually. I want to see how long Fox holds on to the show. I really want to see this play out.
I mean,
The decisions made by fucking untalented people is so frustrating. It's like, at least Jeff Bezos, he's not doing anything creative. Like, he's just fucking ruining the world with microplastics. Like, at least he's not pretending to be like, we're telling stories, your voice. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm out. I'm done.
I mean, and what's going to be crazy is Peter's going to be writing for Cryptopolis next season.
Cryptopolis. Season 16, baby. I'm back. I'll be eating my words. I mean, whatever. Like, if they ask me to come, I will write for it because, hello, they clearly need me.
Dan Harmon.
And no shade to anyone who was in that room and did great stuff. And, you know, it's hard when you're dealing with someone who I'm sure has a singular chokehold. I'm sorry. Am I never going to work for Dan Harmon? Okay, great. Bye.
Maybe
I'm not working for him anyway.
Maybe his kink will be that, like, he wants you to work for him. That's like his kink, like, you know, to have someone that doesn't like him.
I just put him down every day.
Yeah.
Great.
like-
That's my kink. Let's go. let's kink it up. I love to put down a fucking multi-millionaire white man that's given every fucking possible job in the world.
I mean, I famously also do not. I don't respect straight white men. So
Bye.
higher. Okay, so my
Peace.
Jesus Christ, Peter. to get into the bottoms in this way. Okay, my top is I went to a wedding in New Jersey. Okay, so I'm, you know, I think it might be a little different, but like just, I mean, we're 41, right, Peter? So like our season for weddings is a little past. Like for gay weddings, it's a little like things happen a little later, but like even I feel like a lot of, you know, I don't know how to describe it, but like kind of normal gay people also like it's by 41 you either are going to do it, you know, it's like a different season, right? So it felt good as a 41-year-old to go to a wedding as opposed to a divorce weekend, which is what I've been doing more of lately. So it was like exciting to kind of be like, oh, this is what love is, and like just see. The fun part of going to a wedding is as an adult, especially with friends you make as an adult, is meeting their family. Because when you have high school friends or college friends, you always meet their parents because you're always going to their house, and there's this like perspective on who they really are that you gain that's so important to friendship. And you don't really always get that, especially with friends you make later in life. Great to watch. Great to see. Like, oh, like you get a more of a three-dimensional image of your friend. Like it's a 3D print out, not a facsimile. And so it was like, that was fun. And also, you know, any weekend I have away from my family and circumstances, you gotta love it. So really got to live it up. I mean, like my body and did not appreciate it. You know, my back can't really take the same sort of bed situations as it once did. I used to sleep on a floor and happy about it as long as it was indoors. So I was like, okay, whatever.
She's aged out of that.
Yeah. So that was the top. Just the wedding itself, it was really fun. It was just like, yeah, it's been such a minute. It's been years since I have.
Yeah. Same.
And then my bottom is, so while the wedding was happening, the war started in Israel and Palestine. Wow. So like it happened like that night. And my husband went to, like my son was going to synagogue and, you know, partaking in his religious education, and he goes, and my husband does get into it with the rabbi, so much so that we had to break up with our synagogue. And
why?
I don't really. It is one of those things where, listen, I am not a particularly religious Jew. I think we are, and Peter and I think we can both attest to the fact that we are both fairly spiritual people. We think about and think deeply about like the world and our spirituality and a relationship with like not only history and blah, 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 but, you know, we're pretty existential, and we think about the metaphysical and spiritual realm pretty consistently. So, you know, we go to a synagogue.
We do drugs.
We do drugs.
We have fun.
Exactly. But because I can't tell my son to go do mushrooms in the forest and like, you know, fucking get real, dude. Like God's everywhere. We go to this synagogue, and the direction of the synagogue was not something that aligned with our values. And, how about this? I think this is the easiest way to put it. No matter where you are on the political spectrum, I think that as immigrants, and especially if you are also Jews, or even if you are a patriotic person who understands history, you have to hold conflicting ideas in your mind, and you understand nuance.
Americans, that's not for us.
That's what I mean.
We like binary. We like black, white, Kansas City Chiefs versus New York Jets. One winner, one loser. That multiply. It's
hard.
Too dialectic.
Yes. So even if you are someone with hard, fast, steadfast political or religious views, you have to understand that you may be in a place or in a congregation or in a family with people that do not necessarily agree with you, and you make space for them and all other kind of opinions. And when I mean make space, I mean like have a genuine and engaged conversation, dialogue, not silence. And that was our problem with it.
You were being silenced. You were trying to silence them.
You're like, stop. No. No. We were not being silenced, but we were being asked to quiet down. And not only that, but there was no space being held for a dialogue out of fear. And that is...
Of what? Of woke policing?
Out of fear of disagreement. Like out of fear that like this conversation is going to go to places. Like the thing is,
it got to a point that you had to leave.
Yes. And because it's like, because we all like, I mean, you can think that, this is the easiest way. You can think that ISIS is fucked, love America, and think that the American military industrial complex is also fucked. Right? Like all those things can be true. It's not a leap of faith to think that. I mean, even people like Noam Chomsky, all these people, like, I think fundamentally hate the American, like, colonialism and expansion of things. But the fact that they're speaking up about it implies that they care deeply about what America does and is holding America and foreign policy to a higher standard. Because they are patriots. So for me, it was just like the fact that there was no space being held for any sort of discussion was very shocking. Inside of inside of the circumstance. So I had to write a crazy email, which is a bottom for me because an email that is over...
You hate to write?
I hate to write. And any email over 3 paragraphs is violence. So I am sorry to the synagogue.
Yeah, you chose violence.
I did choose violence.
You had to. You had no other choice.
I had no alternative because I was being silenced. So that is a true bottom because breaking any sort of breakup with an institution in this way is always...
And a community.
And community. And like, and it's...
That's the hardest part.
It's the hardest part. So, I I mean, that's sort of what's happening. And that is a bottom for us, for me and our family, but also kind of like turning it back around. Now it means that we are, Sal can go to Korean school.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Finally, he'll learn some Korean and some Korean politics. Don't talk about liberation in North Korea. Do not talk about North Korea.
Well, it's at the Burta, so like it's not church. There's no church.
Good,
so
good.
it's all the Buddhist monks, and so that's actually where I went when I lived in the city. It's the same Burta school, like temple I went to when I was a kid. It's crazy. Yeah. So it's exciting, and so that is all like. But the bottom was just like, I will say
it's hard to break up with that.
Yes, and also like it's been kind of sad to see the nature of the conversation. Like, I mean, it's always been like this, right? But it's just been like, oh, fuck. You know, like, I guess that opportunity for this sort of nuanced discussion is lost. It was never going to really happen, especially on social media. And that's why you got to get off.
No.
Yeah.
That's not where that lives.
Yeah, it's not where it lives. So, yeah, that's my bottom.
Damn, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Wait, I'm sorry. There's someone at the...
What?
Someone at the
Is
door.
it? Wait, it can't be... Drama llama ding dong. Yes! It's trauma.
So my trauma this episode is I was remembering, because I've been doing some stuff with memory for the last couple of weeks, and I was just remembering how...
What do you mean stuff with memory? Like memory palace work? Because I used to do that.
It's not memory palace, but sort of like, because I kind of am realizing, Peter, can I ask you this? So I'm realizing that like, as in my childhood, any memory I have is bad. I have no...
Yeah, that's why it's a memory, girl. What do you mean? Like, why else would it be a memory?
People have good memories of their childhood. I don't know. Do you... Anyone out there?
Third generation Japanese people? What are you talking about? Who had a dad like Danny Tanner, spoke perfect English? What are you saying? No immigrants have good memories. Even if we do, they're drowned out by the trauma. We can't access them. They're inaccessible. They're there somewhere in the deep recesses. Sure, we could probably get it through hypnosis, but surface level memories?
They're all bad, right?
Bad.
Okay, so this is what my examination of it was. So I was like trying to find a good memory. So that's why I was like, this is crazy. Every memory I have of my childhood, they're all bad up until I'm an adult. All of them are bad until...
Yeah. Until like 18, 19.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just really crazy.
I mean, it doesn't mean that good things didn't happen to you.
Right. But
They
I don't
sure
remember.
did, but they just didn't encode deep enough.
No.
Your hard drive doesn't have space for those.
No.
It's constantly processing the bad shit.
That's what's...
Yeah, I know.
So that's what I was talking. It's fucked up. So I was realizing that because I was like, people are like, you know, everyone talks about like stuff that happened or like fun things or like this memory or that memory. I was just kind of like, I literally only remember. Anyways, that's the memory stuff I've been doing. I've been trying to like engage my memory to find a good one, and I've only come up with what I'm about to tell you.
Okay, here we go.
Buckle up. So
yeah.
This is like. It's this time that it turns out I was I hooked up with like so I have hooked up, you know, the last episode I talked about working at that place with felons. I did hook up with one of them like
When you were 15?
Yeah.
How old
No,
were
16,
they?
I was 16, yeah. How old was he?
Yeah.
Mid-20s?
Okay. All right. I mean, today, if you heard that happen, you'd be like, jail, go back to jail. You know what I mean? Do not pass go.
Oh, no, actually stay
Double
in jail.
life sentence.
Yeah, stay in jail.
No work release. Stop stamping these fucking license plates. Okay, so you were 16, he was mid-20s.
Yes, for the felon
Sounds like
one,
he was
but-
34. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
was
by the
34.
way, he was like kept. I asked him what he was in jail for, and he told me that like he had been trying to get money for his friend's like mom's breast cancer treatment, and I was like, oh cool. And then it turns out the rest of the story is like, and so in order to do that, we did multiple home invasions and held people hostage with
guns.
With guns, like it was like B&E's
Armed robbery. Yeah. Oh my God.
Like I was like, oh, like at that point he'd already had fingered me. So like I was like, oh, cool.
Well, yeah.
What are you gonna do? True. You know.
Wow. Okay, so you learned about that latter part after he fingered you. Immediately when he was like, "Oh, I was doing this for a good cause," you were like, "Enter me!"
And then upon entry, he was like, "And I did," and I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh no! Did he finger you till completion?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm still waiting for that memory. Yeah.
Does that happen? Can I ask for women?
For digitally?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Like you can orgasm from being fingered?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's
Digitally.
nice. Yeah.
Digital.
By the way, I don't know.
Breakdown.
You didn't ask, but I don't think that could work for me. I know you're not interested, but let me just fill you in.
Let me insist on telling you.
I don't think I can complete from being fingered.
What about fisted?
Never tried, but I don't know. I don't think so.
All five?
Because like that's like saying like, oh, can you come from like being fucked vaginally? I guess you can. That's what you're saying.
All of it is.
I don't think I can. I don't think men can.
Like strictly.
Like yeah.
There's no. It's dick free entry only.
Yeah, I think the dick is part and parcel of the entire experience.
What if you're just blowing, fisting? So there's no touching, but blowing is happening.
Blowing?
Like this.
You're just blowing. I mean, it depends on the barometric pressure. Like if there's enough of a stimulation or some kind.
But you're
I'm
fisted.
I'm being fisted, and then someone's slightly blowing on the tip of my penis.
No, blowing hard.
Hard. And yeah, we're not in Denver, Mile High. Like
yes.
We're in some kind of humid.
Yes.
Yeah, if we're in like Miami and the humidity's at like an 86% or higher, I could probably ejaculate. But without the blowing, I don't think so. I think there needs to be some kind of like stimulation to the penis.
Okay,
For me, I'm not saying for all men.
Yeah.
But even in pornography, which is we all know is how we really have sex, but I've never seen other gay men or men come from that.
Digital.
Or otherwise. Like
gay men
from
analog.
Yeah, it's like it's almost more work.
Yeah.
I mean, it is way more work for us. But anyway, go on. You're being fingered by a felon. By the way, that's such a great song, right? Isn't that a great opening track to an album? Fingered by a felon. I got fingered by a felon. At first he had a great story and turned out he was a felon. Like it was, yeah. He fell into my pussy with his fingers.
With his fingers and with his very serious record.
Very serious charges and convicted of
convicted
crimes.
Okay, so this isn't that. Okay, first of all, that wasn't even that's not even the trauma.
That's not your trauma?
That's not my trauma. My trauma is that this is when I was young, and in New York, going to visit my friends that were in college while I was not in college. So like what happened was I dropped out of college and then went to go visit all my friends that were in college. And that was kind of like how I was living vicariously.
Okay.
And I was in New York.
You're showing up to their classes.
Kind of being like, okay, what's going on? What kind of learning are we doing? And then just smoking weed all day. So I was in New York. This was a wild weekend. Like my friend was like a part of like a highfalutin. Anyways, I wound up at this party, and so I'm out of town, and I'm at a party, and I meet this guy who we like kind of hit it off, and then we tried to. He's a Guanamanian, the Guanamanian. And we tried to
Guanamanian?
He's Guanamanian. Remember, I tried. You're the one that told me he's
Guyana, right?
No, Guamamanian. He's Guamamanian. He's because I thought it was Guamese.
Oh, Guam.
He's
from Guam.
He's Guam.
Okay.
Guamamanian. Because I said Guamese, and you said that's wrong. You're the one that told me it's Guamamanian.
I told you it was wrong?
Yeah, because I said Guamese, and you said that's Guamamanian. And
Okay. Okay. Yes, I think you're right. No, it's Guamish.
It's not Guamish.
It's the Guamish.
It's not Guamish. If he's not Guamese, he's not Guamish. It's Guamamanian.
They go on Guam Springer. Like, that's what...
Peter, you just made fun of someone for saying bro-sided.
I know. Well, that's not. This is for an unpaid podcast. No one's paying for this. That's for a fucking TV show that spent 3 seasons. Anyway.
So he's
So upsetting.
He's Guamamanian, and we're at this party. I'm out of town, so we are like hitting it off, and we basically are like kind of there's this tacit like we're gonna go hook up. Mm-hmm. We leave the party. And we are going down we're in the stairway, and we kind of there's this moment where we both realize, so we're like, oh wait, where are we going? And he looks at me and he's like, I thought that we were going to your place, and I was like, I don't live here. I'm staying on someone's we can't go do that. I was like, where you live? And this is when he reveals to me that he is quote unquote between places.
Oh no!
So he does not have a home.
Wow.
So he does not have a home. And
he was hoping you had a home.
I don't. Yeah, I was hoping
I've done this before, by the way. I've done this before where I brought home a guy and I was like, are you homeless? Like. And then when I realized that this is what I do, I go, I don't allow that to, I don't discriminate. So instead, he fingered me in that stairwell, and that is where we hooked up. A lot of fingerings happening.
Because I didn't want to like. It was just like, yeah, a lot of like that sort of stuff, like that during this period for sure. Before I was like really trying to go hard into the other stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was like pre full hoe phase.
Full hoe phase. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is when I'm still dipping my fingers in, so to speak.
You were a proto hoe.
So,
speaking of, I've been coming upon a lot of fisting videos recently.
It's a season for fists.
Is it? Okay, so it's pumpkin spice latte and fisting.
Fisting.
Yes, and here's what. No, I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum. If you're into it, great. Go elbow deep. Get it to the weenus. But for me, there's nothing about it that feels sexy. Like it's the same way yes, and it doesn't, like, watching it doesn't get me off. Like it's the same thing as foot stuff. Like I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, and good if you're into it, good. If you like it, I love it, right? But it's one of those good for you, not for me situations. And then I was thinking, because I thought of foot stuff and fisting, right?
Yeah.
Why don't people foot fist? Like, why is that not a thing? Because like foot is a thing.
Yeah.
Because like people love feet, right?
Yeah.
And fucking it and sucking it and doing whatever the fuck, with the feet. And then fisting is also a thing. So like, why don't you ever see like someone ankle deep into someone's ass? You know what I mean? Or
they're
like
footing. They're
like
getting their footing.
Like, I literally kick in someone's ass.
Yeah.
Like you're.
I you know what? Honestly, I think I wonder if it's just like pure physics of it, like because with
What, it won't fit? Trust me, it'll fit. Things fit up there.
yeah, but you have to work up to it. Even with the fisting, it's never like.
Of course, you have to work up to it. You're not.
But
like,
how are you
directly-
gonna? You're gonna toe? You're gonna dip your toes
Dip
in?
your toes in, one toe at a time. This little piggy went in first, then
You're towing the line? No, you can't toe. You can't. You can't toe this line because like the actual like the.
I mean, talk about foot and mouth disease. This is foot and ass disease.
Because it's just the actual like sensation and the manipulation. Like I'm pretty prehensile.
A toe and a finger is pretty similar. I will say
The
a toe is a big finger.
Look at how digitally you can manipulate. I am prehensile.
Yeah.
My feet are pretty prehensile. I can grip
Same.
and grab a lot of things. But most
People have called me Simeon. Yeah,
Me too.
Yes,
Me too. They do the same
we
thing
have
to me.
fucked up toes.
Yes.
It's a Kim thing. We have fucked up
we do.
bodies. Yeah.
Do we? But most
Yeah.
people are not like that. Most people have very like
Regular
boring
ass toes.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
they're limited in range of motion. We're
Not
living
mine.
out loud with our toes.
I
think
could
this
grab a
is
full
about-
coffee mug. Yeah.
Me too.
A tumbler. Yeah, exactly. Trust. Yeah. And I don't know if you do
Censor
this too,
that,
but
Alex,
like with yeah, not for free. I don't know if you do this to Max or even your kids, but do you like pinch with your toes?
Yes, we do it all to each other,
Yeah.
except for Max because he can't do it. Yeah.
Oh,
All my
okay.
children.
So like
Yeah.
I tend to, when I'm spooning, I tend to use my big toe and the second toe to grab the Achilles heel
Yes.
of my partner.
And pull-
right?
yes.
Pull on it. Okay. So weird.
It's definitely a thing. 'cause
I
I
yeah,
can make my
we
toes
do it.
snap.
Me too.
Yes.
I'm doing it right now.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, why isn't there footing?
This is unusual. The feet we have are crazy. Most people are not like this. It actually freaks
Also,
people out.
my feet are not soft.
Mine either.
So it'd be like putting sandpaper into your buttholes, which is
We've
not
answered
great.
our own
Yeah.
question here.
But not all people have the same feet we have.
I'm telling you, if they have soft
People
feet,
have nice soft feet.
if they have soft feet, they're flaccid as well. Ours are our feet can get hard and like manipulate and like kind of get in there.
My feet stay hard.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone, if you have soft feet,
anyway.
you have flaccid feet, and I'm sorry.
But let us know if you if you have footed before. I'd love to know.
Yeah,
I'd
we would love to
like
know.
what is there? Does it happen or whatever? Okay. So my trauma this week. I'm gonna. We talk a lot about sex here because we do. A lot of our traumas are from like us figuring out our sexuality and bodies.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
whatever. But I'm gonna take it a step back this week and talk about a trauma that has to do. Maybe this is like me inflicting the trauma. So
Okay, that's
because you know what, we're both victims and aggressors.
Yes,
at the
this
same
is
time.
true. This is true.
We're holding two things at once,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So one time in my freshman year of college, I was living with my best friend, and there was this girl who lived upstairs from us, and she and I hit it off. We became like besties,
Okay.
right? And like the type of besties that was so not sexual. Like
Yes.
we spent our time gossiping, talking about other people, and also playing our own versions of like treasure hunting. What is that called? When you have like clue, you like a clue leads you to another clue, leads you to another clue.
treasure hunt, scavenger
Yeah.
hunt.
Scavenger hunt.
Yes.
We would like write up our own scavenger hunts
Yes.
within our own dorm rooms.
Okay.
And we would set each other upon these adventures.
Yes.
And like, I know, it was really fun.
It's
and
crazy.
creative.
Yes.
And-
I mean, I love these kind of relationships you have with like people that where like they tap into like a type of creativity, like you spur and inspire each other. That's like the dream. Yeah.
The dream. So we were just like melted at the hips, blah, blah. And then she told me that she had a crush on my best friend / roommate. And I was so hurt.
Hurt.
I was just really, really hurt that like she had feelings for him. And at that point, I didn't really understand a lot of like my own sexuality.
Sure.
But in retrospect, what I'm realizing is that I was in love with my friend and my roommate.
Yeah.
And I was afraid that she was going to come in and change everything. I know. So, and then he came up to me and said, hey, this girl told me she has a crush on me. What do you think?
Uh-huh.
And like asked me, like, I know you're best friends with her, like, what's the tea? And then I, instead of being a normally adjusted good friend,
Yeah.
that says, go for it, bro, do whatever floats your boat, I told him I am in love with her, so I don't think you should do this. And he was like, oh my God, that makes sense. You guys are always hanging out together and like
You are
doing
the villain in the
hunts.
you are the villain in the K-drama, Peter. You are the one keeping the two protagonists from each other
because of my selfish reasons. I know, I'm telling you. I ended up saying that to him in hopes that he would just shut it down.
Uh-huh.
You know? So instead of shutting it down, he went back to her and said, congratulations, Peter's in love with you.
Congratulations.
And she came up to me and was like, I'm in love with you too. I was just trying to get his attention to make you jealous. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then I was like, I guess it worked. So I had to fake a relationship with her. Yeah.
Oh my God.
So everything changed. I had to go from like besties to like, we're into each other now. And then like it was spring break and then she came over and my mom was out of the house. And I remember she was like, let's go watch a movie in your mom's room. I was like, why don't we just watch it out here in the living room? She was like, cause we could like, you know, close the door and your brother won't see us. And I was like, oh. And then we put on a Blair Witch Project 2. And then she started fingering me.
Yeah.
And you know what? I did come. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No matter how much she blew on my penis, I couldn't.
If she got in a toe in. Oh my God.
Now this story goes on to something. It gets more and more complicated and bad. But for today, that's the trauma that I inflicted on them and in turn inflicted on myself because I wasn't being honest about how I felt.
Oh my
and
God.
I just wanted to like control the situation and everything just blew up on my face. And it was bad. It was just it was bad for everyone.
Wait, what ultimately happened? Did they ever get together or did you thwart this love connection for all time?
I think they got together for a second and then I think they like made out and then they were like, yeah, this ain't it. So it was like fast and furious.
Sure.
Like it was just one here one day, gone the other. But I should have just let that play out instead of making this gigantic fucking mess. You know what I mean? And like having to lie to her and to him and try
and
to
to
like,
yourself.
and to, well, of course, mostly myself. And anyway.
Trauma.
I know. I gotta say, like, I'm not an angel. Like, I know a lot of bad shit happened to me, but I'm sure I've done this type of stuff. I have.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I was that like calculating closeted gay boy in high school who would like, you know, whatever. In my defense, I would always stand up for the girl.
Yes.
Because I was like, you're hurting her feelings. You're fucked up. You're an asshole, blah, blah, blah. But I did. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, me too.
I did involve myself just way too much into other people's business.
I mean, I was obsessed with like making girls cry. Like I obsessed with it. I made girls cry. I made boys cry. Like I was just obsessed. Like, and it was just for no reason because it would just be the same thing where like, why am I inserting myself into this situation? Yes, I'm inserting myself into a situation. I'm standing up for some sort of like moral right or something. I don't know. Right, especially when you're really on one, and we both love to be on one.
Mm-hmm. Never off one.
Yes, and you're off your rocker. Yeah. You're on one and you're off your rocker. So that's us. Sorry.
All right. Well, it's that time for our final segment, in which we introduce something we're absolutely obsessed with. It's time to sit back and bitch, get into it. Bitch, get into this. How about making music with your boo? Now,
Peter.
No.
I know what you're thinking. I'm about to put my foot in your ass. Like what?
With your prehensile toes, that'll feel good. Now, I know what you're thinking, like ill, boo, whatever. But here's what it is. Or it doesn't have to be making music. It could be doing anything creative with your loved one. Because, listen, if you've been in a long-term relationship like me, you're grooved in. Honey, you are grooved in. Every day is prescribed. We even have like set sex days where we're like, okay, we're having sex today. Like, and that's actually not as boring as it sounds. It makes us like yearn for it and edge all day and whatever. It's fun, but
boring for me. Sorry.
But if your partner is at all creative, it is worth like getting into the creative process with each other, whether it's like cooking together or like doing art together or whatever it is. It just so happens my partner makes music, and I am not a musician by any stretch of the imagination. I can't play anything. I could sing karaoke. Like I'm okay in karaoke songs, but only the ones in my key. Like
wait, I do have to take this moment to someone who is a Two Kims Ajumma scholar to go into the archives and find the episode where Peter does question out loud on the pod if he is perhaps a musical prodigy. So
I'll stand behind that. I'll stand behind the fact that I do have an incredible ear.
Do you remember
and taste.
when I said that you were too old to be a prodigy?
When was this?
This was like
in my 30s. You're like, girl, too. Prodigy stops at age 6, I think. If you're in second grade, bitch, you're just smart. That's smart. Not it. Yeah.
Precocious? And
I meant prodigal in the sense that like I have never attempted it, but I have like a
preternatural like
yes.
ability to do it. Yes.
To it.
Yeah.
Now, in that I can like follow along with you. If there's a piano, I could find the tune or whatever. Yes. But I don't play anything normally. I don't make music. You know what I mean? Like I don't sit there and like do beats or whatever the fuck musicians do. Like I'm not doing that, right? So it's never been something that it's always been something I've been interested in creating just because I'm like breaking out into song and whatever, like, but never to a point where I'll sit down. It's the same thing as like art, like visual art, like painting. Like I'm interested. I bought a canvas once and I, went to Blake's, and I got the
I've been to a Blake or two. I too have gone to a Blake or two. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. I love a Blake's. So it's very expensive art supplies, but you go there and don't go and you go and it's something you're like, okay, I appreciate and I have like a thing for visual art, but like I can't do it really, So, and do you know who Rick Rubin is?
Yes.
Okay, Rick Rubin is this archetype of like creative genius
who has no artistic skills or talent,
does not play an instrument. Yeah. Right, exactly. But he knows like what sounds good, right? So he's going in and like he has actual engineers and producers that like help him get his vision done, right? So that's what I experienced this past weekend with Eric. Was we went into the studio and I was like, I have a pitch for you. like, because we write together,
Sure.
like comedy. We've written like TV pitches together and stuff like that, and like movie outlines. Like, he's a great writer, and the way we work together is I'm very like high-minded, blue sky, like the big ideas, and then he like helps like get it structured and actually like implement it or execute it, right? So that's kind of our workflow, and it's worked very well. And I was like, I wonder if this would work in the musical sense. And he's like, what do you mean? It's like, why don't we approach writing music the same way, where like I'm Rick Rubining and you're actually doing the talent stuff, like the work that like needs to get done, So we went into the studio and I pitched him this idea for a 4-song EP that thematically is about reflects our relationship thus far, the 8 years we've been in relationship with each other, starting from like the gay beach thematic, like, like we're making out, everything's great, we're on Molly, to like the real deal, like honeymoon phase is over, we have to deal with family drama, blah blah, into like taking a big risk and moving out here, and this sense of like hope and big dreams, and then the 4th song being kind of like a call back to the original song, but like an evolution of it, and like kind of like looking towards the future of like what our evolution might look like with like a family or house or et cetera, or whatever. So like thematically they kind of keep pulling those ideas out, and then for me to be like, okay, I want something like beachy fun puppy, and then you'll like go in and do stuff, and I'll be like, no, too beachy, or
Is there going to be another song on this EP that's about making the EP?
And it's just Beethoven's Fifth. Dun, 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 dun. And then, like, basically, I'm going in, and he's going, okay, how about this thing? And then moving stuff around, doing a different beat, doing a different melody. And I'm going, okay, love it, but, like, give me more like I'm saying, like, nonsense, and he's going this, and he's figuring it out because he knows to speak Peter Kim.
Yes.
And Peter Kim doesn't speak music.
And he speaks
there's like
music.
a translation. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, you guys took the opportunity to speak to each other in different language and communicate with each other and collaborate on something together. I mean, you know what? When you were pitching that thing, I was kind of like, sometimes I do this with my husband. It's not anything creative because neither of us are like that. Devastatingly not, actually. Almost the inverse of that, but like, but we do this where we reflect on where we are in the relationship, but it always is like a different context or this, you know what it is? It's nice to see where you are and where you've been and be able to reflect and reminisce about it. That's kind of what you were doing, and being able to communicate with each other in a new way. Like,
yes.
That's kind of exciting.
It was really exciting, and we already wrote 2 hooks.
Oh, cool.
It was so fast. It was crazy. I was like, whoa.
Well, LB is also very talented.
I'm incredibly talented.
Yes.
Like, he just like gets it.
Yeah.
He's like annoyingly talented where he could like pick up any instrument and be like, in 15 minutes, he'll figure it out.
Truly.
Like, yeah. So like he's now like getting into like the digital space of like, all right, these sounds are available and these kind of different washes and transitions and whatever. So like it's really starting to become like dimensional. And
cool.
The fact that like it in a way, it's like you're right. Like we're having some kind of telepathy, and that feels really good.
And it's new.
It's new,
yes,
and collaborative, and create like,
it's great. Okay, I guess the 3 people that could do this, get into it.
No, but this could be anything like knitting, art, whatever, drawing.
Yeah, go to your local bottles and bottega and paint it.
All right, what do you got?
My bitch get into it is actually, so I sent my friend. It's hard sometimes, getting together, especially like with modern lives, busy schedules, everything, it's like hard to make space for each other. It's hard to make space for someone that you live with, let alone someone that is a friend and you guys already have separate schedules. So
Yeah.
I sent my friend and myself the same copy of a book, and we're doing a book club.
Just the two of you.
Just the two of us.
Oh, fun. What are you reading?
We're gonna. I sent her a. So these are the 3 books that I started with. Let me.
3 books.
3 books. So we got to choose. So I sent like a variety. So one of them is The Collected Stories of Amy Hempel, Hempel. I think I was watching this like a literary panel with like Don DeLillo and like kind of like the 4 preeminent like American authors of, the early aughts. And he was talking about how he had been at some sort of like Iowa workshop, whatever, like some bullshit like that, where all these writers happened to be at the same airport. And they were in the same airport lounge. And then they started talking about who their favorite authors were and who they like to read. And all of them said Amy Hempel.
Wow.
So,
cool.
yes. So I got The Collected Stories of Amy Hempel. Short stories, always great. And then Miles from Nowhere by Nami Moon. And very famous. She's teaches at Columbia in Chicago. And also the collected stories of it's an anthology of Nora Ephron. Now, I picked very specifically, I picked very specifically short stories and essays and one large thing, so that we'll have like one main like book club if we can sometime. But with the short stories and the essays, if we read them together, we can text each other about them.
Yeah, that's nice.
So it's a way of maintaining connection, and we can even have the space for it, and also creates a connection. It's kind of honestly similar to what you and LB did, where it's like you're having like sort of like a collaborative, creative connection with someone in a new language that maybe, especially if you've had an old friend like at this point for like over 20 some years, it's like a new way of connecting with them. So that's my bitch get into it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, bitches, get into it. Thank you so much for listening. That is our episode today. Check us out on our Patreon. Give this to a friend. Tell an enemy.
Please.
We are doing our live shows. Remember that. So get on those tickets. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye.